Well, and this is the end of my presentation of this fourth chapter in Pinker's book. And I just wanted to highlight with him that the ability to move phrases, this is page 123 in the original book, while still retaining their roles. This is what I was making reference to when making my comment here, that the building was taking up subject position but still performing the role of entity made instead of doer, right? While still retaining their roles also gives the speaker of a rigid word order language like English a bit of wiggle room, so we can move, things around in English with a bit, more freedom, for we know that we move entities at the level of surface structure, but they still maintain the role they are assigned at the level of deep structure. And then to conclude, syntax is complex, but the complexity is there for a reason, for our thoughts are surely even more complex, and we're limited by a mouth that can pronounce a single word at a time. Grammar offers a clear refutation of the empiricist doctrine that, was around in the year in which Chomsky came up with his syntactic structures. And this empiricist doctrine says that there's nothing in the mind that was not first in the senses. This is to prove the opposite. All these notions of cases, X-bars, traces, we didn't tackle it in depth, but this is the one involved in derived versions of a more basic sentence. For getting back to my comment with make, if we had so and so made the building in 1978, that would be the basic realization that is determined by the verb make, that there is a doer specified and that there is an entity made specified, right? Now, if this is not realized as in this example here, but instead is realized as the building was made in 1978, leaving the doer aside, there's still a trace, there's still, a possibility for us to understand that somebody was behind this action, although it is not audible or is not present in the written realization. Okay? So this is somehow what a trace points to. So traces, cases, X-bars, and the other paraphernalia of syntax are colorless, odorless, and tasteless, but they, or something like them, must be a part of our unconscious mental life, right? Prior to us being exposed, to the input that we are surrounded by and that our senses, can access. So grammar, a form of mental software, must have evolved under similar design specifications. Grammar is a protocol that has to interconnect the ear, the mouth, and the mind, three very different kinds of machine. It cannot be tailored to any of them, but must have an abstract logic of its own. Again, this, conceptualization of language being, separate from the other, abilities that we have as a species. The idea that the human mind is designed to use abstract variables and data structures used to be, and in some circles still is, a shocking and revolutionary claim, because the structures have no direct counterpart in the child's experience. Some of the organization of grammar would have to be there from the start, goes this hypothesis that we have been, dealing with for some time now, part of the human language learning mechanism that allows children to make sense out of the noises they hear from their parents. So this is the end of chapter 4 in Pinker's book, the end of my presentation of this chapter in his book.